Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining our Branding and Online Reputation Management webinar organized by Takween Accelerator in partnership with the American Corner in Iraq. This is our last session of a series of 4 digital marketing webinars. We already had 3 webinars: Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, and content marketing. They are all uploaded to Takween's Facebook and YouTube channels if you would like to watch them. Now, we have chosen this topic tonight based on your voting scores and because social media is turning out to be one of the most powerful tools to market your brand and stand out from the crowd. So I hope you make the best out of it. And as usual, at the end of the session, we will allocate some time to answer your questions. So please feel free to add them to the Q&A box or chat box. A brief introduction about Takween Accelerator. Takween is a project of Yanhad, an initiative to promote civic engagement and entrepreneurship for youth in Iraq. It is financed by the European Union and the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, implemented by Expertise France, and hosted at the American University of Iraq, Soleimani. This is our agenda for tonight. We're gonna show you how to create a strong online brand identity, some rules of social media branding, how to manage your brand's online reputation, and how to handle negative comments. Let's first understand what branding is before we dive into details. So, branding is the process of creating a strong positive perception of a company, its products or services in the customer's mind. So, it's about how people perceive your product, your business, or even you as a person. And the goal with branding is to make sure that people are having the right perception, which is the one that you want them to have. Branding is very, very important for businesses, and effective branding helps companies differentiate themselves from their competitors and build a loyal customer base. Now, some people think that branding is just the logo and the design. Actually, it's not. It is all of these elements that you see on the screen and more. So it is your logo, your design, your values, your strategy, your email, your newsletter, your blogs, your webinars, your presentations, and more. Now, branding is important for any business that wants to generate long-term business. So, what do you want to achieve as a brand or business? The first thing is to drive awareness of your product or service. And this is where the customer gets exposed to your brand. It's like, I have seen your brand. This is what we call brand exposure. The second thing that you want to achieve as a business is to drive engagement. And this is where your customer engages, or your potential customer engages with your brand, either by liking, sharing, or commenting. The third thing that you want to do as a business is to generate new leads. This is where your potential customer provides you with his or her contact information. You as well want to increase sales, and this is where your potential customer becomes a customer, that is, a purchase happened. Provide a higher standard of customer service, and this is one of the goals that every business want to achieve or should achieve and should pay very good and close attention to it, which is how to make your customers happy. This is where your customer is happy. Why? Because we want to increase customer loyalty, and by making customers loyal and making customers happy, our customers become our promoters and advocates of our brand. And at this stage, customers start referring you and your business to others. And this is the best stage that any business can reach. Why? Because those people or those happy customers or loyal customers, when they refer you to others or recommend you to others, they are recommending you by the best way of marketing, and which is the word of mouth marketing. So our first topic for today is how to create a strong online brand identity. Now we have 4 key areas that you need to work on to improve your social media branding. The first one is to define your brand positioning statement. You should be very clear in defining your brand positioning statement. Now, if I ask you to define your brand, what would you say? Actually, the majority won't be able to define what their brand is. In order to find success with social media branding, you need to know your business very well. You need to define your brand, because we are exposed to so many brands on a daily basis. And the ones that have cut through are the ones that we understand. And we often talk about something we call the elevator pitch to simplify complex thoughts. So imagine you are in an elevator trying to persuade someone to engage with your brand. What would you say? The first thing, or the first question that you should answer is, what is your brand called? And this is the brand name. The second question is, what is your brand about? What does it seek to achieve? And these are the benefits of your product or service. Who does it influence? This is your target audience. Finally, what makes your brand different? These are the differentiators. How are you different from your competitors? Now, the clearer you are about your brand identity, the easier it will be to craft the right message. Here is a brand positioning statement example. This is Coca-Cola's. So Coca-Cola's statement: for individuals looking for high-quality beverages, Coca-Cola offers a wide range of the most refreshing options that deliver happiness, unlike other beverage options. So they can enjoy a Coca-Cola drink and make a positive difference in their lives, because the brand is intensely focused on the needs of customers. This is their target audience. It's individuals looking for high-quality beverages. This is the brand name. And this is their differentiator. They deliver happiness unlike other beverage options. And finally, this is the benefits that you get from drinking Coca-Cola. You enjoy it, and it makes a difference, a positive difference in your life. The second key is to know your target audience. And a big part of social media branding is understanding and knowing your target audience. When you understand your target audience, you will be able to take precise, tailored approach with your marketing efforts. And if you want to help your audience, you need to get into their shoes and look at their problems, their wants, and their needs from their eyes. So how do you get to know your audience? You can go for market research, or you can check your social media analytics. And your social media analytics is a great way and a great place that can provide you with a ton of valuable information about your followers, who they are, where they live, and how they interact with your brand on social media. Now, these insights allow you to refine your strategy and better target your audience. So, to sum up, it's very important to know your target audience characteristics, whether they are demographic, like age, location, income, job title, or industry, whether they are psychographic, like problems, likes, and dislikes, or interests, or behavioral characteristics, for example, purchasing behavior. The third thing that you need to pay attention to is your content. Now, sharing the appropriate social media posts on each network should not be ignored. If you are looking for building relationships and marketing your brand, connecting with your community, or even creating groups for your community so they can interact with each other, your best channel for these purposes is Facebook. Now, if you want to share news and events, if you want to go for conversational marketing and open conversations for the purpose of customer support, you go for Twitter. If you want to generate leads, and if you are in the retail, entertainment, beauty, art business industry, go for Instagram. If you want to target other businesses, or if you are a B2B business and you want to generate sales, then go for LinkedIn. If you want to share how-to content and some educational content, then your best place is YouTube. So the content you share reflects who you are as a business. That's why it's important to not only figure out the type of content your audience will find useful enough to share, but also make sure that this content is valuable, credible, and engaging. People will begin to trust your expertise, and you will keep them coming back for more. Now, there is something that I would like to draw your attention to, is that you shouldn't underestimate or disregard the power of video marketing. And since statistics state that you only have 2 seconds to capture a potential buyer's attention, you'd better create strong video content. The fourth key and the last one is the design, which includes visual elements such as color, typography, and these elements play a crucial role in how your followers perceive your brand on social media. Okay, now a quick tip: always remember to use visuals, because our brains tend to process visual content 60,000 times faster when compared to regular text. Okay, this takes us to our second topic for today. What are some rules of social media branding? The first one is to have a unified profile across all platforms. Your brand's profile across your social media channels, your company's blog, and anywhere else it appears should be unified and in line with your brand identity. So be consistent with your graphics, your color, your style and language, and even with your post frequency. Use the channels best for your audience. Here, let's find out and talk a bit about the differences and characteristics of generations. Now, if you are targeting Generation Z, the one in yellow, or the Zoomers, those are under 18 years old and are very active on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We also have the Generation Y, or the millennials, and those are between 18 and 32 years old and are more active on Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and YouTube. We have the Generation X, or the parents of Generation Z, and these people are active on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The baby boomers are active on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and they are people between 48 and 66 years old. Finally, we have the boomers, or the builders, and those are 67 years old and above. Now, those old people were not that active on social media and were very hard to target before the pandemic, but now, and because of the lockdowns, they are adapting to digital technology and they have become shoppers and big online spenders. So take this into consideration if you are targeting those people. Now, here is a list of must-to-know social media demographics for the year 2021 and beyond. Now, these numbers are based on the latest research. For example, the largest age group for Facebook is between 25 years and 34, and 44% are female and 56% are male. For example, for LinkedIn, the largest age group is between 46 and 55 years old. 51% are male and 49% are female. Now, there are, of course, other age groups for every channel, but here we have mentioned the biggest one. So keep in mind that this data is generalized across millions of users worldwide. And if you are looking to expand your reach, we recommend looking into the demographic data from your own social presence to see how it compares to the averages that you see here on the screen. Create a style guide. It's very important to create a style guide for your business. And the sample that, or the example that you see here on the screen is one example. It might look like this. And if you notice, it includes the logo, the primary colors or complementary colors, the font type, and other information. And building style guides help you be consistent and look professional. And it's usually the graphic designer that does this. So make sure if you are dealing with a graphic designer, ask him to give you the style guide. Use color with impact. Use colors that appeal to your target audience and be consistent with color across all media platforms, whether your platforms are online or offline. And by this, you ensure a unified and professional look. And as you see here on the screen, these are the primary colors, and I have stated the purpose for every color. So make sure you are using the right colors for your business and for your purpose. Okay, this is very important. Know your brand's voice, or in other words, we call it your brand's personality. Now, every brand has a personality that differentiates it from the others. This is exactly like us, like people. But if your brand's personality is not reflected in your social media content, it will be hard to get heard. This is why you need to find and develop your voice on social media. And here are a few examples of what a brand personality or voice could be. If you want your brand's personality or voice to be authentic, then what you should do is you should be honest and direct. You should present clear facts with your content, and you should address problems fast. Now, if you want to be friendly, you should be nice and kind. If you want to be funny, you should use humor with care, of course. Be happy and use emojis. If you want to be helpful, your content should offer solutions to problems, and you should explain in details. If you want to be a thought leader or an expert, then you should share knowledge with your customers, and you should give honest advice for their best interest. Be transparent and publish information that will help potential customers or customers better understand the mechanics of your brand. What can you post? You can post, like, for example, how your product or service is made. You can provide updates on projects you are working on. You can open up about failures and struggles. You can give an inside look into your team. Now, transparency is very important because it's the backbone of any long-lasting relationship. So giving customers a glimpse behind the scenes can be vital in establishing a healthy relationship. And being transparent doesn't only mean like sharing behind the scene content. It means as well allowing employees to talk about products or services publicly, asking for feedback, not hiding criticism, and addressing it publicly. So one tip, if you want to publish behind the scene content, go for videos. Our third topic for today is how to manage your brand's online reputation. This is very important. Okay, so what is an online reputation management? An online reputation management or monitoring is the practice of monitoring the internet, website, social media, reputation of a person, brand, or business with the goals of addressing any negative or false comments. So it's you monitor and address. If you manage your online reputation properly, you can retain existing customers. You can as well easily get new customers, and you can maintain a positive brand image. However, if you don't manage it properly, you could lose existing customers, you will have difficulty getting new customers, and your business can suffer financial loss. And this, of course, will lead you to stopping or closing the business. So, how can you maintain or improve your reputation online? Monitor online conversations about your business. And lots of people ask questions on social media to know whether they should or should not buy from you. And by showing you are responsive makes your brand look reliable. Respond and interact with customers' online complaints. Even if you do not have all the information, you can at least respond with, for example, thanks for making us aware of the problem. We are working on it and we will get back to you soon. So it's better to respond with this rather than taking so much time and being late with your reply. Actively seek reviews from satisfied customers. Ask your happy customers for reviews and offer them incentives if needed. Partner with influencers. Now this is influencer marketing, and influencer marketing is the process of using influencers to advocate and engage with your brand's message. And a social media influencer is someone who has influence on social media. And an influencer could be a celebrity, a blogger, an industry expert, or maybe an activist. This type of marketing can be a very good choice to gain significant brand recognition and trust. Showcase customer testimonies. Now share testimonies on your social media and website, and these are part of what we call social proof, and they play a big role in influencing people to buy. Finally, and the most important, is to measure your Net Promoter Score. And a Net Promoter Score is a measurement of customer loyalty. And how can you measure it? A company's Net Promoter Score is measured by asking one simple question. And this simple question is, how likely is it that you would recommend your brand, mention your brand or company to someone else? With a scale from 0 to 5, 0 being not likely, 5 being neutral, and 10 being extremely likely. Customers who score between 9 and 10 are your promoters, and they are huge fans of your product or service. Now, passives score between 7 to 8, which means these people probably liked what you had to offer, but weren't fascinated by your product or service. That means there was no wow factor. These people are not going to recommend you or recommend what you offer to someone else, but at the same time, they will not damage your reputation. However, a score from 0 to 6 means your customer is dissatisfied, and this customer will take any chance to push people away from your product or service and damage your reputation. And this customer, we call him the detractor. Okay, this group, we call them the detractors. To calculate your Net Promoter Score, you need to subtract the percentage of the detractors from the percentage of the promoters. Now, a Net Promoter Score can range anywhere from -100 to 100. However, any score above 0 is acceptable. Because actually different companies may have different standards. And generally speaking, a score within the bracket of 10 to 30 is considered good, and a score of 50 is excellent. Anything less than 10 should be a warning sign for you. So what I would like to tell you here is that if you get a minus, do not panic, because it takes some time and a lot of effort for the NPS or for the Net Promoter Score to be positive. And there are big companies and their Net Promoter Score is between 14 and 16. So it's a hard process and it takes some time. Here are some tools that can be very helpful with monitoring your online reputation. We have Google Alerts. This is a simple tool where you can use to track brand mentions and monitor online mentions of your company. You can even track your competitors and competition. So to create an alert, you should go to alerts.google.com. Just type the keyword in the box, as you can see here on the screen. And of course, the keyword should be your business if you are tracking the mentions of your business. It should be your business name. Choose the options, enter your email, and you are all done. And this tool is for free. Another tool is Buffer. And Buffer is a social media planning tool that helps you track key engagements and metrics such as clicks, likes, reach, shares, mentions, and more. Now, Buffer uses the freemium model for their pricing, and you can get up to 3 accounts to monitor for free. 3 accounts, I mean social media accounts or channels. You should, as a business, consider to be listed on Google. It's very important that you set up a Google My Business account because it is the quickest way to be found on Google search results. And people as well can check customer reviews about your products or services. There is other listings other than Google. There is Yelp, there is TripAdvisor, and there is AngelList. These are as well places that people go and search for customer reviews. So to be listed on Google, you need to go to google.com/business. You should click on Manage Now, the blue call to action button, and follow the steps where you will be prompted to enter the required information about your business to set up your Google My Business listing account. Now, the steps are very, very easy, but remember that you should have a Google account before creating an account on Google My Business. Our final topic for today is how to handle negative comments. Now, if you are wondering how to do that, here is how. First, be ready. You should always be ready and expect that this will happen. Do not ignore. This is the worst thing that you can do because it gives an angry client a reason to dislike your brand. So that's why you should reply to every comment, whether it's positive, negative, or neutral. Never ever delete a negative comment. It's unlikely to make the person go away, and this might be an incentive for more and more negative comments from this person. Respond in kind, of course. You have now, one of the biggest mistakes companies make is that they do not give explanations to their customers. So make sure you explain yourself and explain to your customers. Offer an apology. Now, if you want to solve the conflict, then the customer is always right. Offer a solution. Of course, if there is a problem and it's your company's fault, then you need to solve it. Take it private or interact directly. Now, for sure, you are not going to go for a long conversation publicly. So there are situations where you need to take the conversation private. And after you have handled the formalities of making a public response, move the conversation to private messages, or even you might need to do a phone call to explore why the customer is unhappy. But first, remember to explain yourself before taking it private, because it's very important to explain to your followers that sometimes it's not the company's fault with the issue that others face. Respond at the earliest. Now, you don't want your customer to feel ignored. And even if it's going to take you some time to investigate the situation, you can reply by something like, "We are investigating the situation and we will be in touch with you soon." Do not just keep it or ignore it till you find the answer. Choose only one person from your team to handle those comments, and make sure this team member knows very well the company's policies regarding handling comments and online policies. And of course, you should be in continuous communication with this person, and this person should communicate with upper level management or even board members, so that the problem doesn't escalate and you will end up with a crisis. Give small discounts or gifts when necessary. Now, when you back up your response with a discount, for example, you show your customers that you truly understand their concern and frustrations. Finally, and the most important, is to learn from your mistakes. So everyone makes mistakes. If your company has made a mistake, do not panic. You can always find a way to fix it. Before I move on, I would like to mention some few tips here. Whatever you do, do not respond to negative comments immediately. You might be upset or offended by the comment or comments. And at this emotional stage of mind, the best thing to do is to give yourself some time to think about it, then you can respond. Keep in mind as well that customers comes first, and you want to make your customers happy and keep your customers happy. So you get them to be your promoters and advocates of your brands. And always put yourself in your customers' shoes. And when you are negotiating with your customers or trying to solve conflicts, always keep in mind to reach a win-win situation. And finally, it is very important that you set policies and procedures for your online presence and communicate these policies and procedures with all your team members, whether they are your upper level management, the board, or other team members, because you don't want to reach a crisis. And when you reach a crisis management is a hard. So that was it for branding and online reputation management. And I would like just to mention a quick reminder. We are accepting applications for 2 programs. We have the Female Founder Showcase program. If you are a female entrepreneur and would like to participate in a 4-week intensive training and showcase your business to investors and partners, then apply to our Female Founder Showcase program. The program starts on January 9, but applications are open now. Now, if you have a business that has revenue, high potential for growth, and increased employment, and you need help with getting your business registered, apply to our business registration program. Now, the first priority will be for tech-enabled businesses and those who are delivering products or services built with technology. We will accept businesses from all across Kurdistan and Iraq, and we will support English, Kurdish, and Arabic. So thank you everyone for taking the time to attend. I hope the session was beneficial to you and you learned something new. And I am more than happy to answer your questions. What should we do with the copyright of Facebook and Instagram on your copy products, for example, watches? What do you mean? Do you mean that you cannot post like watches that has copyright or something like this? I mean, I think if this is the case, you should contact Facebook, but I don't think that you can post on Facebook products that has copyright. Does the program you mentioned, is the program you mentioned online? Yes, it's online. How online reputation is measured? Any specific tools or metrics can be used? Yes, online reputation is about having loyal customers, and you can measure it by how many happy customers you have and how many positive comments, for example, you have. How many customers referred your brand or your company to others. These are metrics that you can measure for your online reputation. What are the requirements for what program? The business registration or the Female Founder Showcase program? Okay, I'm just checking the chat box. Okay, so we are typing the answer for the requirements to join our programs. Okay, now for the business registration, the first priority is for tech-enabled businesses, but that doesn't mean other businesses cannot apply. You can apply even if you are not a tech-enabled business. And if you are delivering products or services built with technology, you can apply. So of course, you need to have some revenue and some traction, and your company should have high potential for growth and increased employment as well. These are important criteria that will be taken into consideration. And for more information, you can visit our social media pages, and there is a post about this program, and you can contact us as well if you want to know more about this. Okay, you have explained how to deal with negative feedback and criticism, but how should we deal with bad words and swearing comments? This is an excellent question. Now, how to deal with them? Delete them. Okay, bad words and swearing comments, you can delete them. You shouldn't keep such comments at all. And by the way, there are on Facebook and Instagram and other social media channels in the settings a place where you can add words in the comment tab. If people mention these words, their comments won't show. Okay, so there are tabs in the settings on your social media profiles where you can hide such comments. What about blocking? Yes, you can block if those people are insisting on writing bad words and swearing comments. So this is as well a good option to block them. Will there be a quiz to get our certificates? No, there won't be a quiz at all. These are, by the way, our contact information and our social media pages. I want to teach online languages courses. What do you recommend? Now, actually, this question is not clear. What do I recommend regarding what? What is the best thing before starting online business? Oh, there is a lot of important things before you start your online business. You need to set your goals. You need to know your target market and target audience. These are actually the first two steps that you need to know. Then you need to do some market research, and there is a lot actually of best things before starting an online business. So, but these are the most important. Set smart goals, know your audience, know your target market, create personas. Regarding marketing online courses, it's how can we learn more about digital marketing? There is a lot of courses online. You can search on Google, and there is as well a masterclass that Takween gave a few months ago about digital marketing. It's found on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. If you want to teach online language courses, what do I recommend regarding marketing? I would recommend that you start creating brand awareness. When you target those people, your audience, of course, you need to know your audience. And with your marketing campaigns, when you target those people, make sure that you focus on the problem that they are facing and how can you solve this problem. Okay, now I would recommend that you go for, or you have a strong social media strategy. And if you want to know how to build a strong social media strategy, there is a workshop as well, or a webinar, excuse me, a webinar that Takween delivered a month ago about how to create a strong social media strategy. It's also found, the video is found on our Facebook and YouTube channels. What's a good way to engage customers with sponsored posts? To have a call to action and get these customers to interact. And this call to action it could be like to fill up a form, for example. You can take them to fill up a form. You can take them to your website or even your blog. So the best way to engage customers is to add call to actions to your sponsored posts. Okay, any more questions? Okay, that's it. I don't think we have any more questions. Let me first check the chat. Okay, no more. Okay, so we can close our session. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today, and have a good evening.